When you take a child from school A to school B, do not expect the child to continue from where school A was able to build that child up to. There must be some differences, there must be some gap. When students are faced with two different methods, two different teaching styles, different explanation over the same topic, they ended up becoming confused.
Welcome to dacollins.tv, educational, motivational, and inspirational platform.
Hi guys, welcome to dacollins.tv. I hope you're doing very well and I hope this video meets you in a good state. If you're just joining us for the first time, I would like you to hit the subscribe button so you can be aware and get updated on every recent video that pops up on this channel. Stay tuned. Today we're going to be treating a different topic entirely. Last week I treated a topic titled School and a Scam, and I explained to my viewers that school is not a fraud, school is very important, and one of the best things that can happen to anybody is to go to school and be educated. Education is the best legacy, and I gave reasons why students complain and why they shouldn't complain, explaining the medical process that we all go through, and that all the practitioners we know today, they're all educated, and school is one of the best things that can happen to anybody. Going straight to today's topic, don't want to take our time. Today I'm going to be treating a different topic entirely, and remember, this platform is to educate, is to motivate, is to inspire and encourage the growing generation. All I discuss on this platform is about education, how best I can improve the learners, and how best we can grow in learning. Today I'll be talking about why students fail. I'll be looking into the factors that causes failure in the academic system. One reason I'm going to identify today on why students fail is inconsistency in teaching. So throughout the process of this discussion, I'll be talking about the problem, why students fail. Then at the end of the video, I'll also suggest solution on how to correct the problem. It's not just to identify the problem. I'm going to identify the problem and also suggest possible solutions that can be taken to correct this problem identified. So the problem number one on why students fail is due to inconsistency in teaching. And I'm going to break this down on what brings about inconsistency in teaching. There are so many factors that can cause inconsistency in teaching. Factor number one, this factor comes from the parents. Well, for one reason, the parents had to change the child's school, moving the child from one school to the other. This is called inconsistency in teaching because the child will be living where he or she is used to a new environment. Getting to that new school is bringing the child to a new exposure, exposing the child to something new, a new teacher and a new teaching environment. This is one of the factors that causes inconsistency in teaching. Another reason on the part of the parents could be that the parents relocated. They moved from one state to the other, or they moved from one country to the other. The country you're going to is a new place entirely. The new country you find yourself have its own system of education, have different teachers from different backgrounds. So when you move a child from one school to the other, or from one location to the other, is another reason that brings about inconsistency in teaching, because the teaching method will change over time because every teacher does not have the same method, and different geographical environments have different way which they impact their students, and also they have different way which the teachers were also taught. Another factor we look into inconsistency in teaching is as a result of changing the teachers in the school. Now this is as a result of the school administrators. For one reason or the other, best known to the school administrators, they can change the teacher for a reason best known to them. Also, the teachers can decide to leave that particular school due to the fact that they can get a good job, or they are not satisfied with the conduct of the school, or one reason or the other. Now, the school administrators cannot stop any teacher from leaving. So this factor is something we cannot prevent, and it occurs over time. And when this happens in a school, the school will have to bring in a new teacher, and the process of bringing a new teacher means you're bringing in a new method, a new style of teaching, because every teacher have their own way of delivering a particular topic. Another point I'm going to explain in line with this inconsistency in teaching is for you to bring two students from the same environment who are attending two different schools but within the same environment. Let's say, for example, they're in the same class. You will find out that from the various different schools they are attending, they may be going through the same topic, but the teaching method is different and the explanation is different, despite the fact that they are coming from the same environment. This is because the teachers are different and you don't expect them to give back the same things to the learners. They are from different backgrounds, they were taught different things from different schools, so they don't give the same thing to the learners. So when you take a child from school A to school B, do not expect the child to continue from where school A was able to build that child up to. There must be some differences, there must be some gap. So this is what usually brings about inconsistency in teaching. I want to share a simple experience I had with one student that came from a different location. Now, this child just moved into Nigeria and they came from Zimbabwe. The parents relocated from Zimbabwe to Nigeria. They're actually Nigerians, but they were staying in Zimbabwe at a period of time. Now, this story will just help you explain what I mean by inconsistency in teaching. So this child moved into Nigeria and they had to place the child in one of the schools so the child can continue teaching and learning process. So the child was in a class where I was teaching at this period of time, and I found out that while I was explaining certain things in the topic I was treating that day, this child was not following, and this was not even the first time I was observing this. So the second time I've treated a particular topic in that class, this child was not following the teaching process. For one reason or the other, the child was just looking and was not following, was not understanding what was going on. It was clearly written all over her face. You could see that this child is lost. We were sitting there in the classroom, but the mind is somewhere else. So on this particular day, I had to walk up to the child to ask the child, what is really happening? Do you understand English? I hope what I'm saying is clear to you, because the way you're looking is as though I'm not carrying you along. And the child had to tell me that what I'm explaining is okay, she could understand English, but the truth of the matter is that what she was taught, where she was coming from, is actually different from what I'm actually explaining to her. And this is what I call inconsistency in teaching. Now, she's used to that particular topic, but she's not used to the method which I'm using to explain. My method of explaining that topic was quite different from what she was taught, where she was coming from. And when students are faced with two different methods, two different teaching styles, different explanation over the same topic, they ended up becoming confused. So I was able to calm down to allow her to put me through what she already know before. So I asked this child, how were you taught? What was the knowledge you had about this topic? So she was able to explain to me what she knows and how she has been taught over time, where she's coming from. Now, I looked at that method. It was correct. She was getting to the same solution, but the method is not applicable to how I want her to go about it due to our curriculum, due to our educational system, and due to the WAEC standard and the marking scheme. So the student need to explain more and give more procedure in their solving rather than just looking for short means to get to the point. So I discouraged that method and I told her this is how you need to go about it, and I took my time to groom that child to meet up with the current system and the teaching method of Nigeria. So she has been taught something somewhere, but when she came down to Nigeria, I had to teach her how it's being done over here in order for her to meet up with other of her peers. So this is what is called inconsistency in teaching. And if you find that this happens in a lot of places, in a lot of homes, a lot of students are affected because they are coming from different backgrounds and they are moving from one school to the other, and this goes a long way to affect their understanding of when the topic is being taught and the whole process of the school system. And when this continues, it goes a long way to also affect the child's ability to cope with the teaching and learning process. Now we're moving on to the solutions on how this can be corrected. So these are some suggested solutions on how inconsistency in teaching can be corrected among the learners. Now we're going to suggestion number 1. The first suggestion is to the teachers. For you to help students faced with inconsistency in teaching, the first thing to do is to find out what this child knows, where he or she is coming from. Take your time to find out the previous knowledge of the child before putting in a new knowledge. This helps you to understand the background of the learners and not to force in something that will not be able to stay. You need to understand the root cause of any problem this child is facing, identify the root cause problem first before you can start bringing about solution. So the first thing is to find out the previous knowledge of the child and how this child has been taught or what this child knows before bringing in a new topic or a new system of learning into that learner. This way you will help the child not to be confused and will be able to follow up and flow with the classroom. Step number 2, suggestion number 2. Do not expose the learners to so many teachers at the same time. This can be from the parents. Don't keep changing the private lesson teachers because one is not okay, you're moving to the other. Or the school, don't keep changing teachers. Different teachers coming into the teaching environment comes with different method, and no matter how trained or how gifted they are, they can't continue from where the previous teacher stopped. There's going to be some lapses, there's going to be some gaps. So we should try as much as possible not to keep bringing different teachers to a particular school, because this goes a long way to affect the learners. When it affects the learners, it goes a long way also to affect the school and also affect the parents. So we should try as much as we can not to bring different teachers over and over again. Do not keep changing teachers in a particular school. Try as much as you can to keep those teachers and unless they are not meeting to necessary guidelines or principles of that particular school. But if they are trying their best, please try to keep them and let the changes not to be too regular, because this goes a long way to affect what these learners will gain. Next week, we're going to be looking into a different topic, and that topic will be inconsistency in learning. So we're going to be looking into what brings about inconsistency in learning, the problem, and also we're going to be suggesting solutions on how inconsistency in learning can be corrected. So stay tuned to this platform. If you're not joining us for the first time, I want you to hit the subscribe button. Please place a comment on the comment section, and remember to share this video to friends and family. The aim of this platform is to educate, is to motivate, is to inspire, and to encourage the growing generation. Thank you very much.